Welcome to the complete story of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And no, you won't be sleeping through this one. Unless my voice works on you in mysterious ways. Which is totally fine if that's your thing. But let's talk about the game. Birth by Sleep is a prequel to the original Kingdom Hearts, and tells the story of how three friends were set on different paths, how their bonds were tested, and how the choices they made shaped the heroes who would come after. Also, Mickey Mouse is there for that classic Kingdom Hearts feeling. But anyway, I'm Peter from Birds of Play, and in this video I hope you'll join me as we kick off our complete retelling of Kingdom Hearts, with one of our favorite entries in the series. We're excited to reconnect with a world we've loved for so long, and we hope you'll be with us all the way as we keep unlocking it one game at a time. Our tale begins on the quiet shores of Destiny Islands, a place of humble beginnings, yet great destinies. Waves push gently against the sand beneath a dimming sky, as a young Xehanort remarks that this world is just too small. The scene blurs and shifts forward in time. Xehanort, now a man burdened by age. He carries the limp body of his apprentice, Ventus, whose heart has fractured, leaving him on the brink of fading away. Due to his sorry state, Xehanort observes that Ventus should feel right at home in this empty world. Yet, even broken, a faint light still glimmers within the young man. Far away, the newborn heart of a boy named Sora senses that fading light and reaches out without hesitation, extending a connection and urging Ventus to join with him until he can heal. Ventus accepts, and through that bond, the pieces of his heart begin to knit themselves together. Strength returns, light returns, and he awakens with the power to summon his Keyblade again, much to Xehanort's quiet amusement. Sometime later, in the Land of Departure, a secluded world where young Keyblade wielders are trained under strict guidance, Ventus wakes to the glow of a meteor shower outside his window. Drawn by the light, he hurries out to see it more clearly. There he is joined by his closest friends, Aqua and Terra, who affectionately call him Ven. The three of them stand together beneath the falling stars, wondering about the countless worlds beyond their own, each shining like a lantern in the sky, each a heart casting its light across the realms. All three of them study under the same master, but tomorrow the time has come to decide whether Terra and Aqua are ready to earn the title of Keyblade Master. For the occasion, Aqua has created 3 good luck charms, shaped after the star-like Powerpool fruit, promising that wherever their journeys take them, their hearts will stay connected. The fruit is said to bind destinies together, and the charms are meant to bring each of them safely back to the others. In another distant world, Mickey Mouse, another Keyblade apprentice, trains under Master Yen Sid, a retired Keyblade master, who now watches over the balance of the worlds. As he studies his guiding stars, Yen Sid cannot shake the feeling something terrible is about to happen. A shadow is gathering, and the fate of the 3 young wielders is already beginning to bend toward it. At the Mark of Mastery exam in the Land of Departure, Master Xehanort appears as a guest examiner, in addition to Master Ericus, the one who has been training Terra, Ventus, and Aqua. Ericus being a seasoned Keyblade master with legendary facial hair. During the first trial, Master Xehanort interferes in secret by corrupting the orbs of light with darkness, forcing Aqua and Terra to fight under far harsher conditions than normally required. Even so, they prevail and advance to the second phase, a duel between the two of them. This time, Xehanort does not interfere, choosing instead to watch Terra closely. As the duel unfolds, he notices a surge of unchecked darkness swelling within Terra, something Ericus notes as well with deep concern. As a result, only Aqua earns the title of Master after the exam. Meanwhile, Terra does not, as he was unable to demonstrate control over the darkness within. Ericus reassures him that the title may still be his one day, but for now, he must continue to learn to keep the darkness at bay. Xehanort departs the exam grounds, only pausing to speak with Ventus, a mysterious masked boy. Ventus dismisses Ventus as a lost cause, and says that he should be taken care of, but Xehanort stops him from acting too rashly. Xehanort warns Ventus that they must keep up appearances for now, and that any move against Ventus would draw unwanted attention. As Terra reflects on the darkness he struggled to control, Xehanort approaches him with reassuring words. Darkness, he says, is nothing to fear, no matter how firmly Ericus rejects it. In Xehanort's view, Terra could train under Ericus for a lifetime and still never be acknowledged as a true master. He insists that Terra is not flawed, only misunderstood, and that darkness is not something to erase. It is a force that can be guided and harnessed. Suddenly, a warning bell echoes across the land of departure, as Ericus receives a message from Yen Sid. According to Yen Sid, a new threat has emerged. The Princesses of Heart are now in danger, not only from the encroaching darkness, but from a strange new force born of negative emotions. These creatures, the Unversed, have begun appearing across the worlds and must be stopped. Heeding Yen Sid's warning, Ericus sends Terra and Aqua to confront this looming threat, and to locate Master Xehanort, who has vanished without a word. To aid them, he unlocks the lanes between, granting them passage to distant worlds, though they must never reveal the existence of other realms to those who live there. Ericus frames this mission as a chance for Terra to prove himself, reminding him that he cares for him like a son, and that he hopes to one day see him rise above his obsession with strength. As Terra makes his preparations, Ericus entrusts Aqua with a second mission. She is to watch over Terra, and if the darkness begins to take hold of him, she must bring him home at once. Meanwhile, Ventus receives a visit from Ventus, who has come to taunt him. Ventus says that if Ventus ever wants to see Terra again, he must hurry after him. With that, Ventus disappears into a portal of darkness, leaving only his words of warning behind. Not willing to lose Terra, Ventus sprints after him and reaches him just as he's about to depart. Terra reassures Ventus with a smile, saying there's no need for concern. He then summons his Keyblade armor and glider before launching into the lanes between. However, Ventus refuses to be left behind and immediately takes off after him without permission. As a result, Aqua receives one final mission from Ericus. She must not only watch over Terra, but bring Ventus home as well. And so, the three friends set out, each along a different path, toward different worlds and fates already starting to drift apart. Terra's first destination is the Enchanted Dominion, where he encounters the Unversed for the first time. Cutting through them until the last of the creature leads him to a kingdom locked in a magical slumber. There he crosses paths with Maleficent, a sorceress who rules the realm from the shadows. She draws him into conversation with feigned concern, hinting that Xehanort may have passed through, and that Princess Aurora's light could be in danger. When Terra discovers the princess asleep in the castle, Maleficent appears once more. She speaks of the 7 pure lights, capable of granting dominion over all worlds, and reveals an unsettling familiarity with Keyblades, especially since she shouldn't have knowledge of other worlds. Maleficent says that only a Keyblade wielder can extract a heart, but Terra refuses to do her bidding. However, with a flicker of dark magic, she reaches into the part of him he struggles most to control. The darkness within Terra stirs. He fights it, but the influence takes hold for a moment, just long enough for Maleficent to steal Aurora's heart. When Terra regains his senses, he looks upon the Hollow Princess and is horrified by the role he played, reminded painfully of the fractured Ventus. Having gotten what she wanted, Maleficent says she doesn't know where Xehanort has gone. She then disappears herself, leaving Terra to cope with what he has done. Shaken but resolute, Terra decides to continue his search, wondering whether the purest hearts of light may be the key to whatever Xehanort is trying to achieve. Terra's path leads him to the dwarf woodlands, where he learns that Snow White is yet another princess of pure light. Xehanort, however, is nowhere to be found. The evil queen in the castle insists she knows nothing of him, yet offers Terra a lead. If he brings her Snow White's heart in a box, she will let him consult her magic mirror to find Xehanort. Torn but desperate for answers, Terra reluctantly agrees. However, when he finally finds Snow White, he cannot bring himself to harm her. He tries to tell her, but before he can explain, the unversed rush into the clearing. Startled, Snow White flees into the forest, but instead of chasing after her, Terra heads back to deal with the queen, determined to confront the source of this twisted bargain. Once there, Terra shatters her illusions and compels the magic mirror to speak. Yet the spirit within yields only a cryptic riddle, revealing nothing Terra can act upon directly. With no clear path forward, he leaves the dwarf woodlands behind and continues his search for Xehanort. Soon after, Ventus arrives and finds Snow White in distress. He guides her to an empty cottage, only to be met by its true inhabitants, the 7 dwarfs. They immediately assume that Ventus has come to steal their gems, but Snow White vouches for him, earning him their trust. She explains that a strange man frightened her away earlier, and Ventus recognizes the description as that of Terra. Wanting to prove that Terra would never harm her, Ventus sets out to find him, but instead of finding Terra, he crosses paths with the evil queen, disguised as an old woman. The evil queen is carrying a perfectly red apple, which she drops by mistake, only for Ventus to retrieve the fruit for her. As thanks, the queen mentions having seen someone else wielding a keyblade, leading Ventus to search elsewhere for Terra. Ventus's journey brings him to the world of the Castle of Dreams. Upon arriving, he finds himself reduced to the size of a mouse and quickly caught in a mouse trap. Luckily, Cinderella gently frees him before returning to her chores, explaining that she hopes to attend the royal ball that night. However, Jacques, one of her mouse companions, doubts she will ever make it. The reason is that her stepmother and stepsisters continually burden her with work, so she has no time to prepare. Ventus and Jacques decide to help Cinderella get ready and together they gather materials, evade the watchful house cat Lucifer, and craft a dress fit for the ball. When Cinderella sees it, she is overwhelmed with joy, her dream finally within reach. After she leaves, Ventus and Jacques talk about dreams, and Ventus reflects on how strongly Cinderella believes in hers, reminding him of Terra. Not long after Ventus departs, Terra reaches the Castle of Dreams and finds Cinderella heartbroken. Her stepmother and stepsisters have destroyed the dress she was going to wear to the royal ball. Terra gently tells her that darkness preys on wounded hearts, urges her to stay strong, but to no avail. Before Cinderella can succumb to the darkness, however, the fairy godmother appears, agreeing that strength of heart matters, though it is not all that Cinderella needs right now. With a wave of her wand and the familiar words, "Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo," she transforms a pumpkin into a carriage and gives Cinderella a beautiful new dress, though the magic will only last until the clock strikes midnight. Terra is amazed at how quickly Cinderella's broken spirit is restored, and the fairy godmother encourages him to attend the ball himself, to see how brightly Cinderella's heart now shines, perhaps helping him to find his own light in the process. As Cinderella departs for the ball, Terra escorts her safely to the prince. Through her unwavering hope, he learns how powerful a heart can become when it holds tightly to a dream. He also discovers that the unversed began appearing when a masked boy arrived in the world, giving him another piece of the puzzle. At midnight, as the spell begins to fade, Cinderella flees the palace, leaving nothing behind but a single glass slipper. Terra prepares to leave as well, but crosses paths with Aqua, and the two exchange updates on their mission. Aqua tells him that Ventus ran away to find him, while Terra explains that he has found no trace of Master Xehanort. All that he has discovered is that the Master seems to be seeking pure hearts of light. As Terra departs, Aqua remains behind. She senses darkness festering in Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters, and follows them home just as the prince begins his search for the slipper's owner. Aqua prepares to dispel the darkness directly, but the fairy godmother intervenes once more. She warns that too much light can cast equally powerful shadows. Therefore, rather than confronting the Step family head-on, she says that Aqua should protect Cinderella's light by helping Jack free her from her room, where she has been locked away. Working together, Aqua and Jack succeed just in time for Cinderella to try on the glass slipper and reveal herself as the prince's beloved. But there is still work to be done, as Cinderella is attacked on her way to the castle by an unversed, born from malice in her stepfamily's hearts. As a true Keyblade master, Aqua destroys it before moving on, allowing Cinderella's light to shine unhindered as she reunites with the prince. At the dwarf's cottage, the queen delivers the apple to Snow White, which is revealed to have been secretly poisoned. Aqua arrives moments too late to prevent the tragedy, and finds the dwarves already mourning their beloved Snow White. Determined to help in any way she can, Aqua tells them to leave the rest to her, as she sets out to look for a way to make things right. Aqua quickly locates the prince, who is able to awaken Snow White with a true love's kiss. And as Snow White wakes up, Aqua is reminded of when Ventus awoke from his fractured state, letting her reminisce about happier times before moving on. Back at the Enchanted Dominion, Ventus finds Princess Aurora suffering from the sleeping curse and chooses to help the three good fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, lift the darkness that covers the castle and return Aurora's heart to her. He battles Maleficent in the castle's dungeon and defeats her just moments before Aqua arrives. With both of them there, Maleficent claims Terra was the one who harmed Aurora, but Ventus and Aqua refuse to believe it, defending their friend without hesitation. Aqua tells Ventus that Master Ericus sent her to get him, but Ventus refuses to go back with her, telling Aqua he has to find Terra before it's too late. As Ventus runs away, Aqua is delayed by Maleficent's knowledge of Keyblades and Master Xehanort, planting a seed of doubt in Aqua's heart, which causes her to hesitate. In that moment of hesitation, Maleficent strikes, capturing her. Yet, Aqua refuses to yield. She joins forces with Prince Philip, who has been trapped in the dungeon, and together they battle Maleficent in her deadliest form, a fearsome black dragon, which they defeat. As Prince Philip awakens Aurora with a kiss, Maleficent slips from Aqua's grasp, proclaiming that where light shines, darkness is never far behind, and that so long as light endures, she too will return. Meanwhile, Terra seeks counsel from Master Yen Sid, arriving just moments too late to meet Mickey as he departs for another world. Within the mysterious tower, Yen Sid's home, the retired master warns Terra that the Unversed and Master Xehanort may be connected, though it is only a suspicion. He urges Terra to find Xehanort quickly and uncover the truth for himself. Soon after, as Terra is traveling between worlds, Xehanort contacts him personally. Eager for answers, Terra confronts him. Xehanort admits that he is gathering pure lights, but he claims his intent is to protect them from a darkness he helped to create. He speaks of Vanitas, a being of pure darkness, born from Ventus, once Xehanort's apprentice, succumbed during training. To save Ventus, he had to shatter the boy's heart and expel the darkness, which then took shape as Vanitas. Xehanort insists he left Ventus with Ericus out of compassion, hoping the boy would recover. He blames Vanitas for the Unversed, and asks Terra to help him right the wrong he has wrought. Terra is willing, but he has no idea where to find him. Xehanort says that Vanitas is drawn to the light, so it stands to reason that he will strike next in the City of Light, Radiant Garden. Ventus, meanwhile, is drawn into an ambush by Vanitas and is nearly defeated. At the last moment, King Mickey intervenes to help Ventus beat him back. Mickey explains that he has been traveling between worlds using a star shard, haha! But before he can say more, the shard activates on its own, warping both him and Ventus to Radiant Garden. While this happens, Aqua spots Terra and decides to follow him, bringing all three of them to Radiant Garden, one after the other. Ventus arrives first and chases after Mickey through town. Ventus is eventually drawn to a great castle, but is turned away by the guards. Before he can protest to keep chasing after Mickey, a massive unversed pulls him from the gate. While the guards rush to help him, a man named Evan stops them, telling them to keep standing guard. Evan observes Ventus, quietly noting that the boy is special, as his heart appears strangely devoid of darkness. Elsewhere in the town, Terra arrives to find Unversed, which he takes to mean that Master Sayenhort was right. Once he has taken care of them, he sees Master Sayenhort walking away, making him wonder what he's doing there, so he chases after him. Ventus, still hunting the Unversed, runs into Scrooge McDuck and saves him from danger. Scrooge recognizes Ventus as a traveler and explains that he too is a traveler from another world, brought here through Merlin's magic. In gratitude, he hands Ventus 3 lifetime passes to Disney Town and tells him to go with 2 adults. Soon after, Aqua reaches Radiant Garden. She asks Scrooge if he has seen her friends, but is interrupted by the Unversed as they attack a young girl. Aqua leaps to defend her, and Mickey arrives to help. Together they dispatch the threat and rescue the girl. Both of them sense a strong, pure light emanating from her. But before Mickey can explain further, he is unwillingly warped away by the star shard yet again. With Mickey gone, the girl introduces herself to Aqua as Kyrie. Before she leaves, Aqua blesses her with a protective charm, a small spell that links Kyrie's light to that of another who will keep her safe should she ever be in danger. As Kyrie's grandmother guides her away, she tells her a story of an ancient light so coveted that countless beings fought over it, giving rise to darkness in human hearts. This darkness, she says, shattered the worlds, yet small fragments of light survived in the hearts of children. With these fragments of light, children rebuilt the lost world. That is the world they live in now. But the true light sleeps deep within the darkness, keeping the worlds separated. But someday, a door to the innermost darkness will open, and the true light will return. The lesson the old woman wishes to impart to Kyrie is that even in the deepest darkness, there will always be a light to guide her. Aqua believes that her meeting with Kyrie might not have been accidental, but a new disturbance demands her attention. A massive airborne Unversed descends on the area, drawing Terra, Ventus, and Aqua together unexpectedly, each of them having tracked the monstrosity from a different path. The 3 join forces to destroy it, but once the dust has settled, their reunion is short-lived. Ventus hands out the Disney Town passes he got from Scrooge McDuck to Terra and Aqua, and the 3 begin to argue over their next steps. Terra urges Ventus to return home with Aqua, insisting that the journey ahead is too dangerous for him. However, Ventus refuses. Aqua questions Terra's motives and the nature of the mission he has undertaken, her suspicion deepened by what she has learned so far. Aqua cannot ignore how often Terra has been drawn toward figures steeped in darkness, but Terra is offended by the accusation. Hurt and furious, he turns his back on her and storms away. Ventus, shaken by their fight, lashes out at Aqua as well. He accuses her of driving them apart, when she claims only to be trying to keep them together. Before she can explain, he runs off as well. Having gone ahead, Terra is confronted by Break, a senior guard who claims to have captured Master Sayenhort. Terra takes the bait and follows him. Finding Sayenhort tied up and seemingly in trouble, Break taunts him openly, boasting that he too desires a Keyblade and believes defeating someone with the potential to become a master will earn him one. He says Sayenhort himself told him as much. During the battle, Sayenhort urges Terra from afar to unleash the darkness within. Finally, Terra gives in, channeling its power to attack Break and drive him back, scorching his right eye in the process. When the fight ends, Terra is devastated by how easily he resorted to darkness. Xehanort tries to tell him that he channeled that darkness, but Terra believes he succumbed to it, just like Master Ericus warned him about. As a result, Terra believes he can never return home now. Xehanort comforts him, insisting that darkness is a part of the natural balance, and that Terra is a true Keyblade wielder for embracing both sides of his heart. He tells him to travel the world and bring an end to Ventus, bestowing him the title of Master before leaving him. Once he is alone, Master Xehanort is joined by the wounded Braig, who tries to attack him to get revenge for getting hurt, as that wasn't part of their deal. However, his attacks can't reach Xehanort. Tiring of his insolence, Xehanort displays his dominance in an instant with his Keyblade, getting Braig to back down. Braig says he's just happy Terra didn't steal his heart, but Xehanort explains that Terra doesn't have that power, since a powerful light still lives inside of him, making it impossible for him to have stolen Aurora's heart, despite believing he had done so. As Ventus chases after Terra, he is forced to stop when he hears a cry for help. A young boy named Ienzo is surrounded by unversed. Ventus quickly intervenes and saves him. Evan, the boy's guardian, arrives moments later, studies Ventus with quiet interest, and remarks that he suspects their paths will cross again. As Terra leaves the gardens, Ventus catches up, giving them a chance to speak. Terra says that he will continue on, telling Ventus that he cannot accompany him, but that he trusts Ventus to save him if he ever loses his way. Meanwhile, Vanitas emerges in Radiant Garden and intercepts Aqua. The two clash, and although Aqua gains the upper hand, Vanitas slips away, leaving her certain that defeating him must now become one of her duties as well. Ventus returns, hoping to reconnect with Aqua, but she pushes him away, determined to confront Vanitas alone for the sake of her friends. Overwhelmed by frustration and loneliness, Ventus lets the wooden toy Keyblade Terra crafted for him fall from his hand, a small symbol of their friendship slipping away as the rift between them grows. The wooden toy Keyblade is soon picked up by two boys passing through the courtyard, Lee and Isa. Lee introduces himself with a cocky smirk, punctuating his words with his trademark, "Got it memorized?" His playful confidence draws a small smile from Ventus, and sensing an opportunity to lift the boy's spirits, Lee challenges him to a quick spar. Ventus accepts and wins. Rather than being upset, Lee only laughs, delighted, and declares that this makes them friends now. With unwavering certainty, he promises Ventus that they'll meet again someday. Their separate paths eventually carry all three to Disney Town, a world celebrating its annual Dream Festival. Though they all arrive at different times and never cross paths, each of them takes part in the festivities in their own way, competing in a series of games and trials designed to test skill, determination, and spirit. Unbeknownst to them, their performances are being quietly judged as a part of the festival's highest honor, the Million Dreams Award. In the end, all three are selected for the Million Dreams Award, much to the dismay of Pete, who has been masquerading as both Captain Justice and Captain Dark in a failed attempt to win it himself. Only Aqua is present to accept the prize on behalf of herself and her friends. In a dark twist of fate, the bitter and humiliated Pete is soon approached by Maleficent, who rallies him to fight on the side of darkness. After his stop in Disney Town, Ventus travels to the Coliseum, where he meets Hercules and an eager would-be hero wearing a helmet, both striving to prove themselves as true heroes. Together they fend off the unversed, after which Phil, the legendary trainer of heroes, announces that he would only take on one of them as a student. His choice will be decided in a one-on-one match between Hercules and the mysterious newcomer. To keep things fair, Phil offers to train the helmeted fighter in advance, while Ventus volunteers to train alongside Hercules. As he watches them prepare, Ventus is reminded of his own training days with Terra and Aqua. When real monsters invade the Coliseum during the match, Ventus steps in to deal with the threat, so the fight can continue uninterrupted. But Hercules and the helmeted boy refuse to abandon their friend, and both deliberately throw the match to help him. In the end, Phil chooses to train Hercules, impressed by his quick reactions, even though the other fighter rushed to Ventus' aid as well. Accepting his loss with grace, the helmeted hero finally removes his disguise and introduces himself as Zack. Later, Terra arrives at the Coliseum and comes to Hercules' aid in battle. In the aftermath, Terra learns of an upcoming tournament, sees it as a chance to truly test his strength. Sensing Terra's ambition, Hades, the god of the underworld, takes notice and approaches him. He tells Terra that conquering darkness means embracing it, not resisting it, and offers to train him, not just for the games, but in mastering his own heart. Drawn to the promise of greater power, Terra accepts Hades' offer. But when the decisive moment comes, Terra ultimately rejects Hades' temptation and refuses to surrender his heart to darkness. Enraged, Hades retaliates by taking control of Zack and pitting him against Terra. Forced to fight, Terra struggles, but eventually frees Zack from Hades' influence and dismantles the god's scheme. With Hades defeated and the arena saved, Terra earns the title of Champion of the Games. Last to arrive, Aqua reaches the Coliseum soon after and hears troubling rumors about Terra. Hoping to find him, she enters the next tournament and fights her way to the finals, where she faces Zack. During the match, Zack tells her that Terra once saved him from Hades' darkness, without giving in to it himself. Aqua defeats Zack, but Hades soon reveals himself, attempting to tempt her with darkness as well. Even with the Ice Titan fighting at his side, Aqua stands firm and prevails, claiming victory and becoming the new champion in Terra's place. Afterward, Zack asks her out to celebrate, but Aqua gently declines, choosing instead to continue her mission. While searching for Ventus, Terra is swept off course in deep space and accidentally pulled aboard a passing starship. Though briefly imprisoned, he quickly breaks free and helps the crew fend off the unversed, overrunning the vessel. There, Terra learns that Experiment 626 is being held not for evil deeds, but simply because he is considered too powerful. Terra sympathizes, as strength alone is no crime, ultimately choosing to free the creature. However, 626 immediately turns on him, stealing his Wayfinder in the process. In that moment, Terra realizes that despite everything he has endured, his heart is still deeply bound to his friends. The idea of friendship sparks something unfamiliar within 626 as well. But before they can speak further, alarms blare and the ship is plunged into lockdown. Separated by the chaos, Terra escapes into the lanes between, carrying a renewed resolve to make things right with his friends. Aqua arrives next, entering the ship through an airlock, just as Experiment 626 races past her in flight. In his haste, he drops Wayfinder, which Aqua recognizes instantly. 626, in turn, notices her Keyblade and recognizes its resemblance to Terra's. However, before Aqua can give chase, Captain Gantu apprehends her. Brought before the Grand Councilwoman, Aqua strikes a bargain. She will eliminate the Unversed infesting the ship in exchange for their promise to spare 626 and capture him alive. As she tracks him through the vessel, Aqua eventually catches up to 626, and the two join forces to defeat the remaining Unversed. Along the way, Aqua comes to understand that Terra's heart still carries a powerful bond of friendship, one that has already begun to reach 626. In the end, she convinces the authorities that 626 is not beyond redemption, but simply searching for a place where he belongs. Ventus arrives last, chasing an Unversed straight through the ship's twisting corridors. Along the way, he runs into Experiment 626, who, thanks to what he has learned from Terra and Aqua, immediately recognizes Ventus as a friend. During the chaos, Captain Gantu destroys a crude Wayfinder 626 had built in an attempt to mimic Terra's. Ventus presses on to finish off the Unversed he was tracking, and 626 later catches up to him to help stabilize the damaged ship. Afterwards, Ventus sets him free. But before they can properly say goodbye, 626's personal craft launches, and the two are forced to part as they flee from Captain Gantu. Ventus is hurled to Neverland by the chaos of 626's malfunctioning warp drive. There he meets the Lost Boys, Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, who is eager to get his hands on Captain Hook's treasure. Ventus, however, is drawn instead to a shooting star that has crashed nearby. Terra's journey soon leads him to Neverland as well. There he encounters Captain Hook, who deceives him by claiming that the treasure he guards contains a powerful light, and that a boy intends to steal it. Suspecting a connection to Vanitas, Terra agrees to protect the chest and confronts Peter Pan. Meanwhile, Ventus reaches the fallen star and discovers it is Mickey's star shard. Peter and Terra cross blades, but Terra quickly realizes he has been misled and abandons the fight. Ventus then teams up with Peter Pan to rescue Tinkerbell from Hook, though Terra has already freed her by the time they arrive. Ventus battles Hook and sends him tumbling into the water, where he is forced to face his greatest fear, the crocodile with the ticking clock. Hook flees for his life. The treasure is finally reclaimed. The chest is found to be empty. Undeterred, Peter and the Lost Boys decide to fill it with treasure of their own. Ventus adds his wooden practice sword alongside Peter's keepsakes. Tinkerbell returns Mickey's star shard to Ventus, and it reactivates, whisking him away once more. Aqua arrives in Neverland last. She helps Peter Pan search for the treasure in a race against Hook, guided by a map. When they finally reach the chest, the pirates are stunned to discover its contents have been replaced. But Peter and his friends proudly claim them as their own treasures. The crocodile appears once again, forcing Hook to flee, leaving Aqua and the others free to examine the chest. Among the treasures, Aqua finds Ventus's keepsake, clear proof that he had been there before her. Before she can leave, however, she is ambushed by Vanitas. He shatters Ventus's practice sword and attacks her once more. A fierce battle ensues, and though Aqua narrowly defeats him again, she collapses unconscious in the aftermath. The star shard carries Ventus to Yen Sid's tower, where he meets Donald and Goofy, who proudly speak of Mickey as their king. Interpreting the shard's erratic movements, Yen Sid determines Mickey is in grave danger. As captain of the king's royal knights and the court's master magician, Donald and Goofy are eager to rush to his aid, but Yen Sid warns that the task is beyond them. Despite the danger, however, Ventus sets out alone to rescue Mickey. Drawn by a powerful beacon of light, Terra finds himself returned to Destiny Islands. Along the shoreline, amid the steady rhythm of waves, he comes across a star-shaped purple fruit, the very shape his Wayfinder was modeled after. Before long, he meets two young boys, Sora and Riku. Terra senses an exceptional light within Riku, but his vision is troubled by something else as well. He glimpses the shadow of a younger Saiyan horde, intertwined with an older version of Riku yet to come. When Riku speaks of his desire for strength, not for power's sake, but to protect the things that matter most to him, Terra entrusts him with the power to one day wield a Keyblade. Following that same pull of light, Aqua traces Terra's path to Destiny Islands. There she meets Sora, and is immediately struck by how closely he resembles Ventus. Learning that Riku has already inherited a future as a Keyblade wielder, Aqua gently asks Sora to watch over him should he ever stray toward darkness. As she departs, Aqua reflects on how the destinies of the three friends are growing more tangled and uncertain with every world they pass through. At last, Ventus reaches Mickey, only to be confronted by Master Xehanort himself. The shock of their meeting causes Ventus's buried memories to surge to the surface. Xehanort uses the moment to reveal the truth. Ventus, he explains, was forcibly reshaped into a being of pure light. Vanitas was born from the darkness torn from his heart, his equal and opposite. And only when the two are made to clash, Xehanort declares, can the legendary Keyblade be forged. Xehanort tells Ventus that Eraqus knew the truth all along, and kept him sheltered for that very reason. He then sends Ventus away, urging him to confirm these claims for himself, while quietly setting the next stage of his plan in motion. Terra sees Ventus rushing back toward home, and is immediately contacted by Xehanort. He warns Terra that Ventus intends to confront Ericus and force the truth from him, framing it as a concern for Ventus' safety. Xehanort urges Terra to follow. Terra does not hesitate and races after his friend. Ventus confronts Ericus, accusing him of keeping him confined and hidden from his own past. With visible grief, Ericus admits the truth. Xehanort once sought to recreate the Keyblade, the weapon that ignited the ancient Keyblade War. Now realizing that Xehanort has manipulated every step, Ericus comes to a terrible conclusion. If Ventus lives, the plan will continue. With no other option left in his mind, he raises his Keyblade to strike him down. The blow never falls. Terra arrives in time and throws himself between them, forcing Ericus back. When it becomes clear that Terra will not step aside, Ericus turns his blade toward him as well. Desperate, Terra unleashes the darkness within to drive Ericus away and sends Ventus to safety. Xehanort then steps from the shadows and delivers the fatal strike himself. As Ericus' light fades, Xehanort calls forth darkness to consume the world and urges Terra to follow him to the Keyblade graveyard, where he claims their friends are fated to die. He invites Terra to witness it all, promising that whatever light remains in him will finally be extinguished. The portal Terra opens sends Ventus tumbling through the lanes between, until he lands once more on the shores of Destiny Island. Vanitas is already there. He mocks Ventus and urges him to fight, insisting only their clash can forge the Keyblade. Ventus refuses, and instead begins to remember the truth of his past. He recalls how Xehanort pushed him into brutal battles time and again, bringing him to the brink of death to refine his heart into pure light. He remembers the moment when Xehanort tore the darkness from his heart, giving birth to Vanitas, and he understands that Vanitas has been waiting ever since, biding his time, until Ventus became strong enough to complete their forced bond. Frustrated, Vanitas promises to give Ventus a reason to fight. He invites him to the Keyblade graveyard, vowing to choke the life out of Terra and Aqua, and see how long Ventus can cling to his pacifism. Meanwhile, Aqua discovers Mickey drifting unconscious in a pocket of space, and brings him safely back to Master Yen Sid. There she learns the devastating truth. Master Ericus is dead, slain by Xehanort and Terra, and both Terra and Ventus are now headed for the Keyblade graveyard. The three friends reunite in the desolate expanse of the graveyard, standing together among countless ancient Keyblades buried in the sand. Each swears to protect the others. Yet, Ventus makes one final request. If he and Vanitas are forced to merge, he asks Aqua and Terra to end his life. From the swirling sands, Vanitas and Xehanort emerge. Xehanort gestures toward the lifeless Keyblades surrounding them, relics of an age when light and darkness clashed in endless war. All of it, he says, was in pursuit of a single ultimate weapon, the Keyblade, which he declares will soon be his. The final battle begins. Together, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus fight back, but Xehanort proves overwhelming. The struggle fractures, splitting them apart. Terra is drawn into a duel with Xehanort. Aqua faces Braig. Ventus is left to confront Vanitas alone. Xehanort quickly gains the upper hand, forcing Terra to rely more and more on the darkness just to stay alive. Aqua defeats Braig, but before she can recover, Vanitas strikes from behind, nearly bringing her down until Ventus rushes in to save her. Ventus and Vanitas collide with equal strength. In the heat of their battle, Vanitas' mask shatters, revealing a face identical to an older Sora, the same heart Ventus has been connected to since childhood. Vanitas explains that the unversed were born when they were split in two, his negativity taking form as those creatures. Overpowering Ventus, Vanitas begins to merge with him, and the Keyblade starts to take shape. Elsewhere, Xehanort reveals his final intent. Terra, he says, was never meant to be more than a vessel, waiting to be claimed. Xehanort plans to abandon his failing body and force his heart into Terra's, taking his youth and strength for himself. Terra tries to resist by summoning his armor, but the darkness overwhelms him and Xehanort seizes control. Even so, Terra's will refuses to break. His armor rises and moves on its own, driven by pure resolve, striking down Xehanort despite the fact that his body remains under the old master's control. Mickey arrives in time to revive Aqua, and together they rush to Ventus, who is being consumed by Vanitas. Aqua and Mickey battle the fused Ventus and Vanitas, who now wields the incomplete Keyblade. Vanitas declares that he will use the weapon to open the way to all worlds, drawing Keyblade wielders to the graveyard to fight for the light within Kingdom Hearts and begin the Keyblade War anew. Aqua strikes the Keyblade from his grasp. Its unstable power erupts in every direction before the weapon shatters completely. The resulting explosion tears through the battlefield, hurling Ventus, Aqua, and Mickey away. The backlash closes the path to Kingdom Hearts, as Terra's will promises to one day set things right. Inside their shared heart, Ventus and Vanitas face each other one final time. Ventus refuses to yield. He destroys the Keyblade from within, shattering both their hearts and scattering Vanitas into nothing. Aqua awakens in the lanes between, with Mickey at her side. Ventus does not wake. He turns inward, reconnects with Sora's heart, and sinks into a deep sleep. Mickey brings them back to Yensid's tower to receive proper care, and when they awaken on the cold floor, Yensid informs them that there are still no signs of Terra. Despite everything, Aqua remains certain that she will find him, clutching her wayfinder in her hands. As Aqua carries the sleeping Ventus in search of Terra, Ventus unconsciously opens a hidden passage. It leads them back to the land of departure, now reduced to ruins. There, Aqua discovers Master Eraqus's Keyblade. Using it, she seals the world away, transforming it into Castle Oblivion. Its halls will shift and change, navigable only by her. She lays Ventus to rest in the Chamber of Waking, promising to protect him until the day he can return. Aqua then resumes her search for Terra. She finds him in Radiant Garden, still trapped under Xehanort's control, although the two appear to be fighting for control. Xehanort and Aqua clash, and Aqua manages to weaken Xehanort's hold long enough for Terra's will to break through. Desperate, Terra turns his Keyblade on himself, hoping to sever their intertwined hearts. Instead, the act drags both of them into the darkness. Aqua saves Terra's body, casting it back into the light, while she herself is pulled down into the abyss. Her fall sends a ripple across the worlds. Even young Sora feels it, and instinctively reaches out, connecting his heart to Ventus. Ventus answers, choosing to rest within Sora's heart as he sleeps. Back in Radiant Garden, a battered Xehanort is found by Break, Dylan, and Aelus. He is wearing Aqua's armor and carries her Keyblade. They bring him before Ansem the Wise, where Xehanort, now inhabiting Terra's body, feigns amnesia and begins researching the nature of the heart. Terra endures, alive within his own heart, trapped and waiting for the chance to reclaim himself. Aqua, meanwhile, wanders the realm of darkness alone for years. She fends off the Heartless with Eraqus's Keyblade as her hope slowly wears thin. When despair threatens to take hold, she clutches her wayfinder and remembers Terra, Ventus, and every bond they formed along the way. Those memories rekindle her resolve and give her the strength to keep moving forward. Deep in the realm of darkness, Aqua eventually encounters Ansem the Wise, cast into the abyss once again. Though his memories remain fragmented, he tells Aqua that she reminds him of a boy he once knew, a boy who stayed true to his friends, traveled countless worlds, and fought to protect the light wherever he found it. Aqua dares to hope and asks if the boy's name was Terra or Ventus, but Ansem gently corrects her. It was neither. His name was Sora. Ansem explains that he hid the most important results of his research within Sora's heart, trusting that one day the boy might be able to save those whose lives were left broken, those still waiting for a new beginning, their birth by sleep, himself and Aqua included. When Aqua asks who Sora truly is, the story cuts across the worlds to the people he has touched, each of them remembering his name. On Destiny Islands, Sora and his new friends Riku and Kairi read a letter from King Mickey. Sora reflects on how many lives have shaped his own and steps forward, ready for whatever comes next. Somewhere far away, Aqua continues her lonely journey through the realm of darkness, holding on to hope that one day she will find her way back to the light. And that is the story of Kingdom Hearts' Birth by Sleep. If you enjoyed this retelling, we hope you will join us again as we continue exploring the complete stories of Kingdom Hearts. Or just watch some of our other videos. Please. But until next time, caw-caw!